Our world is filled with fascinating tales and myths that sometimes seem too remarkable to be true. But what if there was a grain of truth in them? What if we were actually put on Earth by a race of ancient extraterrestrial beings known as the Anunnaki? What if these beings were from a mysterious planet called Nibiru, also known as Planet X? And why did they need gold so badly? This journey we're embarking on today might seem like science fiction, but let's delve deep and find out. Welcome to Life's Biggest Questions. Now let's continue on, shall we? Let's dive into the intriguing lore of the Anunnaki and their home, Planet X, or as the ancient Sumerians called it, Nibiru. According to ancient texts, Nibiru was a planet in our solar system with a highly elliptical orbit, entering the inner solar system only once every 3,600 years. But why does this matter? Well, these timeframes align surprisingly well with various significant periods in Earth's history. The Anunnaki were supposedly a highly advanced civilization, possessing technology and knowledge far beyond what we believe was available at the time. Some theorists even suggest that they had the capability to traverse the vast distances of space, which is how they found their way to Earth. But what's even more fascinating is the reason behind their interstellar journey. The story goes that their planet's atmosphere was deteriorating and they needed a solution. Continuing our journey into the heart of the Anunnaki and Planet X story, we can't help but marvel at the extensive mythology surrounding their civilization. The Anunnaki were believed to be the gods or heavenly beings in Sumerian culture, standing at the apex of their cosmology. They were said to have descended from the sky, providing knowledge and guidance to the primitive human societies of the time. But as we unravel more about the Anunnaki, we find that they weren't just spiritual or divine entities. They were described as real, tangible beings with distinct personalities, desires, and conflicts. Their interactions with each other, as well as with humanity, were documented in numerous Sumerian texts. Their impact was profound, shaping the trajectory of human civilization in more ways than one. The tales depict them as beings who manipulated DNA, advanced architecture, mathematics, astronomy, and agriculture, implying a scientific knowledge base much broader than was available to humans at that time. But as intriguing as these stories are, they also raise many questions. Why would such an advanced civilization need help from primitive humans? Why Earth? And what does gold have to do with all of this? These questions might seem outlandish or fantastical, but when we delve deeper into the lore and the science behind these theories, we find a universe of possibilities that might just make us rethink our understanding of ancient civilizations and our place in the cosmos. Moving deeper into our exploration, we come across one of the most intriguing theories about the Anunnaki, their alleged role in the creation of humans. Now, according to various interpretations of ancient Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki did not just stumble upon humans on Earth. They played an active part in our creation. But why? As the story goes, the Anunnaki, living on a distant planet, Nibiru, with a long elliptical orbit around the Sun, were facing a crisis. Their planet's atmosphere was deteriorating and they needed a solution to save it. This is where gold comes into the picture. Gold particles were to be used in their atmosphere to repair the damage. However, mining for gold was labor-intensive and required a workforce. Unable to meet this demand with their population, the Anunnaki turned to Earth, rich in the gold they so desperately needed. But there was a problem. The work was hard, and there was no workforce readily available. So they decided to create one. Using their advanced knowledge in genetics, they allegedly manipulated the DNA of the existing hominids on Earth, gradually leading to the emergence of Homo sapiens, us. We were, as per this theory, originally designed as a race of workers created to mine gold for the Anunnaki. As outlandish as this theory may sound, proponents argue that it provides an alternative explanation for the sudden evolutionary leap that resulted in the appearance of modern humans, but it also opens up a whole new world of ethical and philosophical questions. What is the true nature of our existence? Are we more than just workers for extraterrestrial beings? If the Anunnaki created us, who created them? Taking a closer look at the narrative, we stumble upon a rather interesting aspect: the fixation on gold. Now, gold is a fascinating element. It doesn't corrode, it's malleable, and it conducts electricity. But why would a distant planet, Nibiru, need gold? According to the Anunnaki theory, Nibiru's atmosphere was in crisis. The planet's life-sustaining qualities were being compromised. It's said that the Anunnaki, known to be technologically advanced, figured out a possible solution to this problem. Their plan was to suspend particles of gold into Nibiru's atmosphere, hoping that these particles would form a protective layer, reflecting sunlight and thus restoring the balance of their atmosphere. This puts gold in a unique position. For us on Earth, it has been used as a symbol of wealth and power, but for the Anunnaki, it was apparently the key to environmental stability, the solution to a planetary crisis. It was not about luxury or status, but survival. Proponents of the theory point out that gold's unique properties make it plausible as a potential atmospheric shield. Its resistance to corrosion and ability to reflect sunlight could theoretically help restore an atmosphere, although such a process would require technology far beyond what we currently possess. It's also interesting to note that gold has been revered and sought after by almost every civilization on Earth. Some theorists argue that this universal fascination with gold might have been implanted in us by our alleged creators, the Anunnaki. And if this is true, does our continued obsession with gold suggest a lingering subconscious connection to our supposed extraterrestrial origins? Getting deeper into the allure of gold, what makes gold so special? It's a question that piques our curiosity. After all, gold is just a shiny metal, isn't it? Well, not quite. Gold, as we've already established, is an extraordinary element. It doesn't corrode or tarnish like other metals, making it last virtually forever. It's also highly malleable and ductile. A single ounce of gold can be beaten into a sheet covering 300 square feet, or drawn out into a wire 60 miles long. From an aesthetic perspective, gold's lustrous, warm glow has been universally cherished for its beauty. Yet, its value extends far beyond its appearance. Gold is an excellent conductor of electricity and is highly resistant to most acids, making it incredibly useful in numerous industries from electronics to dentistry. In the context of the Anunnaki theory, the physical properties of gold made it an ideal candidate for repairing Nibiru's atmosphere, but gold's significance goes beyond its physical characteristics. In many ancient cultures, gold was associated with the divine or the gods, possibly due to its seemingly immortal nature and radiant shine. This raises an intriguing question. Could the cultural importance of gold be a remnant of our supposed Anunnaki creators' influence? When we look at the world today, the importance of gold remains. It backs our currencies, it's an essential component of our electronics, and it's a symbol of love and commitment in our jewelry. Is all of this a mere coincidence, or could it be a sign of a more profound cosmic connection? It's something to ponder about. In the realm of physics and chemistry, gold is an elemental superstar. It's one of the least reactive elements on the periodic table, meaning it doesn't easily combine with other elements to form compounds. This makes it resistant to tarnishing and rusting. A gold artifact buried for thousands of years will shine as if it was made yesterday. Gold's inertness is one reason it's biocompatible. It doesn't react with human tissue, making it suitable for medical uses, like fillings and implants. Gold nanoparticles are even being explored for use in cancer treatments. Its ability to reflect heat and radiation also has practical applications. We use gold foil to protect astronauts and their spacecraft from the intense radiation of space, and gold coatings are used on the windows of large buildings to reflect sunlight and keep interiors cool. Beyond the physical, gold has an undeniable psychological allure. It's been a symbol of wealth and power for millennia. In ancient cultures, gold's enduring shine led people to associate it with the divine and the eternal. This allure isn't lost on the Anunnaki theorists who propose that the ancient Sumerians' reverence for gold was influenced by these celestial beings. They suggest that gold was not only desired for its physical properties but also as a symbol of divine power and interstellar capability. The golden thread that ties our history, mythology, and technology together is fascinating. Whether gold's appeal comes from our alleged Anunnaki origins or simply from the element's unique properties, one thing is clear. Gold has shaped and continues to shape our world in profound ways. The Sumerians were the creators of one of the earliest known civilizations, establishing urban development, governance systems, and one of the first written languages, cuneiform script. According to proponents of the Anunnaki theory, This advanced knowledge did not evolve independently but was given to them by these celestial beings. The Anunnaki, if we follow the theory, brought the Sumerians advanced knowledge in numerous fields. They were said to have taught them agriculture, making the Sumerians among the first to transition from a nomadic lifestyle to settled farming communities. The Sumerians' revolutionary irrigation systems, which allowed them to thrive in the harsh, arid environment of Mesopotamia, are theorized by some as Anunnaki knowledge. In addition, the Anunnaki supposedly introduced advanced architectural techniques. The ziggurats, towering stepped pyramids that dot the Mesopotamian landscape, are believed by some theorists to be evidence of this cosmic architectural education. The complexity and scale of these structures indeed suggest an advanced understanding of construction and engineering. Some theories even suggest that the Anunnaki imparted the early foundations of laws and justice, leading to the creation of the Code of Hammurabi, one of the oldest known legal codes. The complexity of this legal system, encompassing various aspects of daily life, is seen by some as a sign of Anunnaki influence. The Anunnaki are also thought to have shared advanced astronomical knowledge. The Sumerians were skilled astronomers, accurately charting celestial bodies and events. Their understanding of the cosmos was surprisingly advanced for the time, with some theorists suggesting that this knowledge was passed down from the Anunnaki. So there you have it. The story of the Anunnaki and Planet X is a captivating blend of ancient mythology, celestial mechanics, and the quest for gold. It's a tale that asks us to reconsider our place in the universe and the very history of humanity. While it's essential to approach such theories with skepticism, they certainly provide a thrilling perspective on our ancient past. And as always, thanks for watching. Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered if we are truly alone in the universe? It's a profound question that stirs the imagination and makes us question what we know about our own history. Today, we're diving deep into ancient Mesopotamia to explore the intriguing theory of the Anunnaki. Found in Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were described as celestial beings that descended from the heavens. But could they have been more than just myth? And what if I told you this ancient tale has echoes in other cultures around the world, posing the possibility of a common narrative of extraterrestrial contact? In the heartland of Mesopotamia, one of the cradles of human civilization, the Sumerians etched a compelling narrative into clay tablets. They spoke of beings known as the Anunnaki, divine entities who descended from the heavens. These celestial figures were not mere flights of fantasy but were perceived as genuine influences in the Sumerian society. In the Sumerian cosmology, the Anunnaki were believed to be the offspring of An, the sky god, and Ki, the earth goddess. And among these divine figures, some, like Enki, Enlil, and Inanna, held significant roles in Sumerian myths and epics. They were seen as divine mediators, connecting the celestial realm with the earthly domain and playing a part in the creation and early development of humanity. The Sumerian texts describe Eridu as the first city established by the Anunnaki on Earth. Interestingly, Eridu is considered one of the oldest cities in the world, and it's in this ancient city that the concept of urbanization, written language, and state rule first began to emerge. The Anunnaki were often associated with bestowing wisdom and knowledge upon humanity. They're said to have taught humans the arts of civilization, like law, agriculture, architecture, and writing, catalyzing the societal shift from hunter-gatherers to settled agricultural communities. Now the crux of the issue remains. Are these accounts of the Anunnaki mythological constructs created to provide explanations for natural phenomena or historical events? Or could they be interpreted as early human interactions with beings from another world, documented through the only means available at that time, myths and legends? The ripples of the Anunnaki influence, it seems, extend well beyond the boundaries of Sumer. Whether it's under different names, titles, or representations, ancient cultures around the globe have distinct tales of divine beings descending from the skies to interact with humanity. Let's turn our gaze across various cultures and decipher these intriguing narratives. In ancient Egypt, for instance, the pantheon of gods was believed to have descended from the heavens to guide human society. Their god of wisdom, Thoth, similar to the Anunnaki, was said to have introduced writing, mathematics, and architecture to humanity. Intriguingly, the Sumerians' neighbor, the Akkadians, had their equivalent of the Anunnaki called the Igoge. Even halfway across the world in Mesoamerica, the Maya believed in the Kukulkan, or feathered serpent, a deity that bestowed knowledge and wisdom. He was known as Quetzalcoatl among the Aztecs. Meanwhile, the ancient Indian texts, the Vedas, tell of the devas, divine beings who interacted with humans and even interbred with them, a narrative strikingly similar to the Anunnaki's role in Sumerian texts. In Greek mythology, the gods resided atop Mount Olympus but frequently descended to Earth to interact and sometimes mate with humans, leading to the birth of demigods and heroes. Again, this resonates with the Sumerian account of the Anunnaki breeding with humans to create demigods. These parallels in disparate cultures across various geographical boundaries pose a bewildering question. Are these uncanny resemblances mere coincidences, sprung from the shared human impulse to personify and deify natural phenomena and existential quandaries? Or do they point towards a common thread, an ancient global influence by sky beings weaving through the tapestry of human civilization? As we dig deeper, we tread along the precipice of the known and the unknown, venturing into realms that blur the boundaries between mythology, archaeology, and even, perhaps, extraterrestrial encounters. This tantalizing and universally resounding theme of celestial beings lending a hand in the development of human civilization is truly compelling. From the celestial dragons of Chinese lore, the Norse gods of Asgard, to the divine pantheon of the Roman Empire, stories of mighty beings from the stars are deeply entrenched in our collective consciousness. So why is it that across wide oceans, over towering mountains, through vast deserts, and deep in lush rainforests, the tale of star beings visiting Earth, helping humans or sometimes wreaking havoc, finds its way into the oral and written traditions of civilizations? One explanation proposes that these myths are archetypal, that is, they represent universal symbols or motifs embedded deep within our collective unconscious, as Carl Jung might argue. They are part of our human heritage, a product of the shared fears, desires, and the innate curiosity about our place in the universe that is common to all human societies. Another explanation draws on the theories of Swiss author Erich von Däniken, who argues that these stories are not merely symbolic but literal descriptions of encounters with extraterrestrial beings. He contends that these celestial beings were, in fact, technologically advanced aliens who were mistaken for gods by our less advanced ancestors. Moreover, this global myth of celestial beings suggests a diffusion of cultural elements between ancient societies. This could mean that either these stories were so universally relevant that they spontaneously arose in each culture, or that ancient civilizations were much more globally connected than we give them credit for, sharing stories and myths across vast distances. Yet another perspective comes from the field of astroarchaeology, which suggests that these stories might represent early humans' attempts to understand and document astronomical phenomena. The celestial beings may be personifications of planets, stars, and celestial events like comets or meteor showers. However, the line of thought that we're most interested in aligns with the Sumerian text's narrative, that these beings were advanced entities who directly intervened in human society, teaching us agriculture, architecture, writing, and social organization. As we delve further into this topic, we'll encounter theories both intriguing and controversial. Each viewpoint offers a different lens to view these ancient narratives that have shaped our world and continue to puzzle and fascinate us to this day. The question is, which lens brings the truth into the sharpest focus? And are we prepared for what we might see? With such fascinating theories and tantalizing connections, one might be tempted to jump headfirst into believing these stories. However, as any good investigation goes, we need to approach this from a scientific perspective, scrutinizing the evidence, evaluating its validity, and understanding its context. Firstly, let's consider the Sumerian texts themselves. The clay tablets on which these stories were written were inscribed with cuneiform script, one of the earliest known forms of writing. Translating these is a complex task, often open to interpretation, so it's entirely possible that descriptions of the Anunnaki and their actions may not be entirely accurate. For instance, Zecharia Sitchin, a popular author known for his translations of these texts, proposed that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrials who came from a planet called Nibiru. Other scholars, however, have contested his interpretations, suggesting he read too literally into metaphors and symbolism in the text. In the realm of archaeology, physical evidence can also be ambiguous. While we find inexplicable feats of engineering in ancient structures and iconography that seems to depict otherworldly beings, these can also be explained by human innovation and the power of human imagination. Some proponents of the ancient astronaut theory point to technological achievements of ancient civilizations as evidence of extraterrestrial intervention. They argue that the construction of the pyramids of Giza or the Nazca lines in Peru would have required knowledge and technology beyond the capabilities of the people of the time. However, many archaeologists dispute this view, asserting that these feats are testament to human ingenuity rather than alien assistance. Turning to the global similarities in myths, these can be explained by the shared human experiences and archetypal narratives. While it's intriguing to think that similar stories of celestial beings across cultures point to a common historical event, it's also possible that these myths arose from shared human fears, desires, and attempts to understand the natural world. If we pause for a moment and put the skepticism aside, what could this Anunnaki influence really mean? Starting with the texts, the Sumerians described the Anunnaki as deities who descended from the heavens. They were seen as bringers of civilization, teaching humanity various aspects of culture like law, agriculture, architecture, and even the mysterious art of divination. If we consider this from an ancient astronaut perspective, this could be interpreted as these beings sharing advanced knowledge and technologies. This perspective gains even more weight when we consider how quickly civilization seemed to have sprung up in Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. The region saw an almost abrupt transformation from a hunter-gatherer society to one that built cities, developed agriculture, and invented writing. Could this sudden leap have been aided by extraterrestrial influence? Moving to the global scale, if the Anunnaki did influence other cultures, we might need to rethink the concept of independent innovation. Currently, historians believe that many cultures developed similar technologies and beliefs independently, a phenomenon called parallel evolution. But if the Anunnaki theory holds true, it suggests a more interconnected ancient world than we currently believe. To take an example, let's consider the pyramids. Pyramidal structures appear not only in Egypt, but also in cultures as far removed as the Mayans in Central America. If we were guided by extraterrestrials in our distant past, it certainly poses intriguing questions about our origins and our place in the universe. Are we truly alone, or have we been part of a galactic community since the dawn of civilization? And as always, thanks for watching. We have taken a journey through ancient texts, explored cultures from around the globe, and tried to decode the influence of the Anunnaki. While the theory of extraterrestrial intervention in our past remains a topic of speculation and debate, it prompts us to keep an open mind, to question the accepted narratives, and to continue our quest for knowledge. Deep within the annals of ancient history, myths, and legends lie hidden truths, cosmic connections, and wisdom far beyond our understanding. Ever heard of the Anunnaki, the Emerald Tablets, or the Book of Enki? Today we'll embark on an extraordinary journey, diving into ancient Sumerian texts, exploring uncharted territories, and uncovering secrets concealed by time. Prepare to uncover the sophisticated knowledge transmission systems and the mysterious legacy of an advanced ancient civilization. Are you ready? Well, hold on, because it's about to get mythical. The Emerald Tablets are a series of mystical texts that have captivated scholars, alchemists, and spiritual seekers for centuries. Here, we'll explore the many facets of these tablets. The Emerald Tablets are attributed to Thoth, the ancient Egyptian god of wisdom, who is also identified with Hermes Trismegistus in Greek tradition. These tablets are said to hold the secrets of alchemy, astrology, and the very fabric of reality itself. Comprising 13 parts, the Emerald Tablets reveal esoteric teachings that cover the mysteries of existence, the cycles of life, the unity of all things, and the laws of creation. They contain principles that are foundational to Hermeticism, such as above, so below. Within the tablets, there is a focus on the concept of transformation, both spiritually and materially. This includes the idea of transmuting base metals into gold, which is seen as an allegory for personal enlightenment and inner transformation. The teachings within the Emerald Tablets have had a profound impact on Western occultism. They have inspired various mystical traditions including alchemy, Rosicrucianism, and theosophy. Many famous philosophers, scientists, and alchemists, like Sir Isaac Newton, have studied these texts. Over the centuries, the Emerald Tablets have been translated into various languages, with several different interpretations. These versions often reflect the cultural context and the philosophical beliefs of the translators, leading to diverse and rich readings of the text. While not directly linked, some researchers propose a connection between the wisdom in the Emerald Tablets and the knowledge imparted by the Anunnaki. This theory suggests that the teachings within the tablets may have originated from the same ancient wisdom that the Anunnaki sought to share with humanity. The authenticity and historical accuracy of the Emerald Tablets are subject of debate among scholars and researchers. Some view them as authentic ancient wisdom, while others consider them a later creation. The original text's whereabouts also remain a mystery, adding to the allure and mystique. The Annunaki, often described in ancient texts and modern interpretations, stand as one of the most enigmatic and influential entities in mythology, particularly in Mesopotamian traditions. The Anunnaki are primarily known from the Sumerian texts, where they were considered a pantheon of deities. They were said to be the children of the sky god Anu and the earth goddess Ki. These deities were credited with various roles in the creation and governance of the earth, and were believed to reside in the heavens, often associated with different celestial bodies. Within the pantheon, the Anunnaki were not uniform in power or function. There was a clear hierarchy, with deities like Enlil, Enki, and Inanna occupying prominent roles. Some were involved in the creation of humanity, while others governed natural phenomena like the wind, water, and fertility. Several myths narrate the direct interactions between the Anunnaki and humans. For instance, the Epic of Gilgamesh describes the hero's encounters with these divine beings. These interactions were not always benevolent. They included both guidance and punishment. Some interpretations of the Anunnaki suggest that they possessed advanced technology and knowledge. This includes the ability to travel between their home planet, often identified as Nibiru, and Earth. Their technology could be responsible for some unexplained ancient artifacts and architectural marvels. The Anunnaki were not just rulers or creators, they were also considered teachers. Their teachings included laws, wisdom, and moral codes that shaped early human civilizations. These laws often served as precursors to later legal systems and ethical philosophies. In modern times, the Anunnaki have been subject to various interpretations and theories, including those linking them to extraterrestrial beings. Authors like Zecharia Sitchin have proposed that the Anunnaki were actually advanced aliens who visited Earth. The legacy of the Anunnaki permeates various cultures and has shaped many religious and philosophical systems. Their influence can be traced in Mesopotamian, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian cultures. Even today, the concept of the Anunnaki inspires literature, media, and spiritual movements. The Book of Enki is a compelling and intriguing piece of literature that delves into the Sumerian mythos, exploring the life and teachings of one of the key figures in the Anunnaki pantheon, Enki. Let's break down some of the essential aspects of this remarkable text. Enki, also known as Ea in Akkadian mythology, is one of the principal deities of the Sumerian pantheon. He's the god of wisdom, magic, water, and creation, playing a vital role in shaping humanity and the earth. The Book of Enki provides unique insights into his character, philosophy, and actions. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Book of Enki is its account of the creation of humans. According to this text, Enki played a central role in forming humans from clay, infusing them with divine essence. This act wasn't merely about physical creation, but also imparting wisdom and consciousness. The book details Enki's complex relationships with other deities, including his rivalry with his brother Enlil and his role in mediating disputes among the gods. These interactions highlight the dynamics and politics within the Anunnaki pantheon. The Book of Enki is not just a narrative, but also a repository of wisdom. Enki's teachings encompass various fields such as science, astronomy, law, and ethics. His wisdom was considered a guiding light for rulers and scholars alike. Modern readings of the Book of Enki often explore its allegorical elements. Some researchers and authors view Enki's actions as symbolic representations of human evolution, consciousness, and the journey towards enlightenment. Others have drawn parallels between the Book of Enki and other creation myths from different cultures. The authenticity and interpretation of the Book of Enki have been subjects of debate among scholars. While some view it as a genuine ancient text, others argue that it's a modern interpretation or even fabrication. The book's content also fuels discussions about the possible extraterrestrial origin of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki and other ancient civilizations were said to have created hidden repositories of wisdom across the world. These repositories were meant to safeguard essential knowledge and were constructed to endure the ravages of time. Some argue that these could include the Emerald Tablets and other ancient texts. One such repository is the legendary Hall of Records, rumored to be located beneath the Sphinx's paws in Egypt. This mythical library is thought to contain the wisdom of the ages, including information about human history, the cosmos, and the universal laws of creation. Some believe that the Anunnaki had a hand in crafting these chambers and storing knowledge within them. Throughout history, various sects and societies have assumed the role of guardians and keepers of this ancient knowledge. They were tasked with preserving, interpreting, and transmitting these teachings through generations. This included a network of priests, mystics, and scholars working in unison to protect this sacred wisdom. The knowledge contained in ancient texts like the Emerald Tablets and the teachings of the Anunnaki has seeped into various aspects of modern intellectual and spiritual thought. Philosophers, scientists, and spiritual leaders have drawn from these reservoirs of wisdom to shape their theories, practices, and beliefs. Various secret societies, such as the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians, have been linked to the preservation and dissemination of this ancient wisdom. These groups often draw upon the symbolism and teachings found in these ancient texts, weaving them into their own rituals, beliefs, and practices. Efforts to uncover these hidden repositories continue today, with archaeologists, historians, and researchers seeking to find physical evidence of these ancient libraries and texts. These efforts are often met with controversy, intrigue, and sometimes resistance from various authorities. Besides the physical repositories, the ancient wisdom has also been transmitted through spiritual and mystical means. Various traditions such as Kabbalah and Sufism have carried forth these teachings through mystical experiences, meditative practices, and spiritual initiations. The transmission of knowledge from ancient civilizations like the Anunnaki and the legacy of texts like the Emerald Tablets provides a fascinating glimpse into human history's intellectual and spiritual journey. Whether viewed through a historical, mystical, or metaphorical lens, this continuous thread of wisdom underscores humanity's eternal quest for understanding, connection, and growth. The layers of myth, mystery, and meaning continue to invite exploration and interpretation, linking the past, present, and future in a dance of discovery and enlightenment. And there we have it, a journey across millennia where we've unraveled the intriguing connections between the Anunnaki, the Book of Enki, and the wisdom held within the Emerald Tablets. From cosmic alignments to hidden repositories of ancient knowledge, the legacy of these texts and beings echoes through our present-day understanding of science, philosophy, and spirituality. Perhaps we're still only scratching the surface of what's yet to be discovered, but as always, the thirst for knowledge never ends. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, the journey of curiosity is an unending one. And as always, thanks for watching. Imagine we're about to embark on an odyssey across the world and through time, chasing the footprints of celestial beings known as the Anunnaki. From the fertile plains of Sumer, the pyramid-filled horizon of Egypt, the spiritual epics of India, the astronomical marvels of the Mayan civilization to the philosophical minds of ancient Greece, we find their echoes. Each of these remarkable civilizations, despite their geographical distance and chronological separation, shares a common narrative, an interaction with beings from the skies, advanced entities that influence the course of their development. Intriguing, isn't it? So fasten your seatbelts as we journey across the globe and explore the evidence of the Anunnaki influence on these diverse cultures. Time to traverse the ocean and delve into the mysteries of ancient India, an enduring civilization with a treasure trove of rich mythology and advanced understanding of mathematics and astronomy. Much like the civilizations we've explored thus far, ancient India also bears hints of possible extraterrestrial or Anunnaki influence. One of the most striking signs comes from the ancient texts known as the Vedas, written in Sanskrit over 3,000 years ago. These texts contain references to vimanas, flying chariots or machines capable of traveling in the air, underwater, and even through space. Detailed descriptions of these vimanas in texts like the Vaimanika Shastra bear uncanny resemblances to modern interpretations of advanced aircraft or spaceships. Could these have been the vehicles of the Anunnaki, interpreted through the lens of ancient Indian culture? Interestingly, the Vedas and other ancient Indian texts, like the Puranas and the Mahabharata, also speak of powerful beings called Devas, who descended from the heavens, possessed advanced knowledge, and often intermingled with humans. Some researchers suggest a link between the Anunnaki and these Devas, as both are depicted as celestial beings providing knowledge and guidance to mankind. Ancient India also excelled in areas like mathematics, astronomy, architecture, and medicine. The concept of zero, the decimal system, complex algebraic equations, all were understood and used in ancient India. Astronomy-wise, ancient Indians had knowledge of the planets in our solar system, could predict eclipses, and understood the heliocentric model of the solar system. This advanced knowledge is, by some, attributed to the influence of the Anunnaki. Finally, let's consider the architectural marvels of ancient India. Structures like the Brihadiswara Temple, the Konark Sun Temple, and the intricate stepwells of Gujarat all exhibit an understanding of complex geometries, precision, and knowledge of materials that were quite advanced for their time. Some researchers posit these, too, as evidence of extraterrestrial assistance. The parallels drawn between ancient India and other civilizations' interaction with potential celestial beings adds another layer to our discussion on the Anunnaki's possible global influence. Let's take a look into ancient Egypt, a civilization renowned for its grandiose architecture and rich mythology, to unearth potential signs of the Anunnaki. The pyramids of Egypt stand as a wonder for modern researchers. They are feats of engineering and design that remain challenging to replicate, even with our current technology. Is it possible that the advanced knowledge and methods used in their construction were passed down by the Anunnaki? Then there's the Book of the Dead, a funerary text providing detailed descriptions of the afterlife and instructions for the soul's journey there. It includes spells, charms, and formulas for the deceased to use in the afterlife, demonstrating a deep understanding of metaphysical realities beyond the material world. Some proponents of the Anunnaki theory suggest that this spiritual knowledge could be a gift from these advanced beings. The pantheon of Egyptian gods is another area of interest. The gods were seen as immensely powerful beings, capable of human-like emotions and interactions, and they often intervened in human affairs. Many of these gods were depicted with humanoid bodies and animal heads, evoking images of alien beings. One such deity, Thoth, the god of writing and knowledge, is often linked to the Anunnaki due to his role in imparting wisdom to humans. Moreover, the stories of the pharaohs, considered gods incarnate, align with Sumerian beliefs about the kingship being lowered from heaven. The divine right of the pharaohs to rule could be interpreted as a parallel to the Anunnaki's assumed authority over humanity. The advanced civilization of ancient Egypt, with its monumental architecture, intricate belief systems, and knowledge of celestial bodies resonates with the Anunnaki narrative. As with the Sumerians, could the Egyptians have received extraterrestrial guidance leading to their rapid advancements? Let's dive into now the intricate civilization of the Mayans and explore the tantalizing possibility of Anunnaki influence. The Mayan civilization, which flourished in Central America from approximately 2000 BC to the 16th century, left a significant mark on history through their impressive architectural feats, deep understanding of astronomy, and complex calendar systems. Could these achievements have been guided by extraterrestrial beings, perhaps the Anunnaki? The Mayan pyramids, for instance, are some of the most iconic structures from the ancient world. Constructed with a precise understanding of architectural design, geometry, and spatial organization, they evoke an eerie similarity to the pyramids of Egypt, thousands of miles away. Could this be a sign of an Anunnaki blueprint used in multiple ancient civilizations? The Mayans also possessed an astonishing understanding of celestial mechanics. They tracked planetary cycles, accurately predicted solar eclipses, and even recognized the precession of the equinoxes, a slow 26,000-year cycle related to Earth's rotation. The Mayan long count calendar is famous for its supposed prediction of the end of the world in 2012. This complex calendrical system, together with their astronomical knowledge, suggests a level of sophistication that many theorists argue could be evidence of extraterrestrial guidance. In the realm of mythology, the Mayan god Kukulkan, also known as Quetzalcoatl in the Aztec culture, bears similarities to the Anunnaki. This feathered serpent deity was a bringer of knowledge, teaching the arts of civilization to humanity, mirroring the roles of Enki and Thoth in Sumerian and Egyptian mythology, respectively. Also fascinating are the Mayan artifacts and drawings that suggest contact with extraterrestrial beings. The Mayan ruler Lord Pakal's tomb, for example, contains carvings that some interpret as him operating a kind of spacecraft. Digging deeper into ancient Greece, we find further evidence that correlates with Anunnaki theories. The pantheon of Greek gods, renowned for their intervention in human affairs, complex relationships, and feats beyond human understanding, could potentially be interpreted as the Anunnaki's presence. Take Prometheus, one of the Titans, as a compelling example. Prometheus was deemed a hero to humanity, stealing fire from the gods and gifting it to humankind. This act of rebellion against his divine peers symbolizes the transfer of advanced knowledge, akin to how the Anunnaki were said to impart advanced technology and wisdom in the Sumerian texts. Moreover, let's consider the ancient oracle site of Delphi, believed to be the center of the world by the ancient Greeks. There, the high priestess, the Pythia, would enter trances and deliver prophecies. Could these trance states have been enabled by Anunnaki technology or knowledge, as some theorists speculate? Also, the legends of Greek demigods, born of a human and a god, echo the tales of the Anunnaki creating a hybrid human race. Figures like Hercules and Perseus, known for their superior strength and abilities, mirror the Sumerian tales of the Anunnaki's influence on humanity's development. As we delve deeper into these ancient Greek stories, we can't ignore the thematic parallels to the Anunnaki narratives. These accounts, rich in symbol and mystery, offer tantalizing possibilities. Is it mere coincidence, or could it be evidence of extraterrestrial interactions? In examining these narratives and the uncanny resemblances they share with Anunnaki theories, we add another layer to the complex tapestry of human history and our quest to understand our origins. Let's travel back in time to Mesopotamia, to the heart of Sumer, where the earliest recorded mentions of the Anunnaki were found. If we were to stroll down the streets of Sumer, we'd find ourselves in one of the world's oldest civilizations, known for inventing the wheel, creating one of the earliest forms of writing, and establishing law codes. But amidst all this innovation, what really stands out are their intricate stories of the Anunnaki. The Sumerians believed that these gods descended from the heavens, and the name Anunnaki itself translates to those of royal blood, or princely offspring. Their accounts depicted the Anunnaki as being responsible for the creation of mankind and civilization, teaching humans various disciplines like agriculture, law, and even complex architectural techniques. These narratives are carved into cuneiform tablets, some of which include the Epic of Creation, known as the Enuma Elish, and the Epic of Gilgamesh. These tablets illustrate the Anunnaki as complex beings, with individual names, personalities, and roles. Among them were key figures like Enki, the god of water and wisdom, and Enlil, the god of air and earth, whose interactions with humans formed the backbone of many Sumerian tales. Even more intriguing are the physical depictions of the Anunnaki, often portrayed as humanoid but with wings or halos, indicating their celestial origin. But where things get even more interesting is the technological prowess the Sumerians attributed to the Anunnaki. Not only were these beings described as spacefaring, but the Sumerians also talked about their intricate knowledge of our solar system, mentioning the existence of outer planets long before our modern telescopes confirmed their presence. This raises a tantalizing question. How could an ancient civilization, supposedly without sophisticated technology, possess such astronomical knowledge unless it was imparted to them? This impressive correlation between Sumerian knowledge and the Anunnaki's teachings has led many to theorize that these were not just creative myths, but historical records indicating an advanced, extraterrestrial influence on our earliest civilizations. As we delve deeper into other ancient cultures, we'll find that the Sumerians were not alone in their encounters with celestial beings, adding another layer to this interstellar puzzle. Now that we've toured the globe and discovered how several ancient civilizations may have been influenced by what they perceived as celestial beings, it's time to take a broader look at this global narrative. It's quite striking, isn't it? Thousands of years ago, societies separated by vast oceans with no feasible means of contact all tell stories of celestial beings visiting Earth, sharing knowledge, and helping shape their societies. These stories are ingrained in their architecture, their writings, their art, and their oral traditions. What's more, these beings often share common traits across cultures, such as descending from the sky, possessing advanced knowledge, and intermingling with humans. So, what does this mean? Are these similarities simply a result of human imagination and our inherent fascination with the cosmos, or do they hold traces of a long-gone interaction with extraterrestrial beings, like the Anunnaki? Many researchers believe the latter, citing the astounding complexity of ancient structures, the advancement of certain societies, and the universal telling of similar stories as evidence. They argue that our ancestors were not just creative storytellers, but also the record keepers of a forgotten chapter in human history, a chapter in which humanity was not alone. While skeptics point out that similarities in these narratives can also be explained through Jungian concepts of shared archetypes and collective unconscious, this doesn't fully explain the intricate details and advanced knowledge embedded within these stories. Moreover, the concept of cargo cults in more recent history, where isolated tribes perceived technologically advanced visitors as gods and incorporated them into their cultural narratives, suggests a potential model for how ancient societies could have interpreted extraterrestrial visitors. Our journey through these civilizations and their narratives highlights the ubiquity of these celestial narratives in human culture. Whether this points to the Anunnaki or merely to our ancestors' shared sense of wonder and their desire to comprehend the cosmos remains an open question and a subject of ongoing debate, further emphasizing the need for continual exploration and open-minded research into our ancient past. Today, let's travel back in time all the way to ancient Mesopotamia, to the cradle of civilization. Imagine a world where gods walked among mortals, where epic heroes battled fearsome beasts, and where the quest for immortality was not just a philosophical question but a literal journey. Welcome to the world of Gilgamesh, a legendary figure whose epic story is one of the earliest and most profound narratives in human history. Are you ready to embark on this epic adventure? Now, the Epic of Gilgamesh isn't a singular, cohesive book like we might imagine today. Instead, it's a collection of stories and poems that evolved and changed over time, eventually forming the epic we know today. These tales were inscribed on a series of 12 clay tablets in the Akkadian language, with the most complete version dating to the 7th century BCE from the library of Ashurbanipal in Nineveh. Gilgamesh is a fascinating character. Legend has it he was the king of Uruk, a Sumerian city-state located in modern-day Iraq. Now, Uruk was a big deal back in the day. We're talking about one of the world's first major cities, the origin of writing, and a hub of culture and trade in ancient Mesopotamia. But let's get back to Gilgamesh. He was described as being 2/3 god and 1/3 human. This unique lineage gave him superhuman strength and wisdom, making him a formidable leader. However, his divine status didn't shield him from human struggles. In fact, much of the epic revolves around Gilgamesh wrestling with the concept of mortality and the limitations of human existence. Interestingly, even though he was a demigod, Gilgamesh was not a perfect ruler. Ancient texts describe him as a tyrant who imposed his will on his subjects. In fact, his behavior was so oppressive that the gods created Enkidu, a wild man, to challenge him and divert his attention from his subjects. Little did the gods know this decision would change the course of Gilgamesh's life in ways they could not predict. The Epic of Gilgamesh is not just a tale of adventure. It's a journey into the human condition, exploring themes of friendship, grief, the pursuit of immortality, and the acceptance of our mortal nature. Its narrative is grand and its implications profound, offering a window into the human soul and the complexities of life. The bond between Gilgamesh and Enkidu is one of the most compelling aspects of the epic. Remember, Enkidu was created by the gods as a kind of counterbalance to Gilgamesh's tyrannical rule. Originally, Enkidu lived among the animals in the wilderness, uncorrupted by civilization. However, after a series of events, he was introduced to human society and eventually found his way to Uruk, where he challenged Gilgamesh to a wrestling match. This moment marked a turning point in Gilgamesh's life. The match was fierce, and although Gilgamesh won, he recognized in Enkidu a worthy friend and companion. This was the start of an extraordinary friendship, one that changed Gilgamesh and ultimately shaped his destiny. Together, Gilgamesh and Enkidu embarked on a series of heroic adventures, from slaying the monstrous Humbaba who guarded the cedar forest to killing the bull of heaven sent by the goddess Ishtar as a punishment for rejecting her advances. These exploits showcased their courage, strength, and companionship, solidifying their friendship. However, the epic also delves into the profound emotional transformation of Gilgamesh through his relationship with Enkidu. Gilgamesh, who was once an arrogant and self-centered king, began to exhibit empathy, humility, and wisdom. This transition is most apparent when Enkidu falls ill and dies as a consequence of their adventures. Enkidu's death sent Gilgamesh into a profound grief and fear of his own mortality. He set out on a quest to find the secret of immortality, a journey that would lead him to the depths of despair and the heights of enlightenment. Through their friendship, Enkidu not only humanized Gilgamesh but also gave him the impetus to embark on the most significant journey of his life. The friendship between Gilgamesh and Enkidu is a testament to the transformative power of companionship, a theme that still resonates with us today. Enkidu's death was a turning point for Gilgamesh, sparking a fear of his own mortality. This fear was so overwhelming that it led him on an epic journey to discover the secret of eternal life. Now, this wasn't a simple journey. This was a quest that took Gilgamesh to the ends of the earth, confronting monsters, gods, and the depths of his own despair. One of the most memorable parts of this journey is Gilgamesh's encounter with a man who was granted eternal life by the gods. He is often compared to Noah from the Bible, due to the similarities in their stories. Both were warned of a great flood by a god and built a boat to save themselves, their families, and all kinds of animals. Gilgamesh hoped to learn the secret of immortality. However, they informed him that immortality was not meant for humans. He told Gilgamesh a story about a plant that could restore youth. But even after Gilgamesh retrieved it, the plant was stolen by a serpent while he bathed, symbolizing the futility of his quest. Despite his failures, Gilgamesh's search for immortality is an exploration of a universal human fear and desire, the fear of death and the longing for eternal life. His journey reflects our own struggles with mortality and the realization that death is an inevitable part of life. It's a humbling reminder of our human condition and the impermanence of our existence. Gilgamesh's journey eventually led him back to Uruk, where he found a different kind of immortality. Not through divine intervention or magical plants, but through his deeds, his city, and the stories that would be told about him for thousands of years to come. This, perhaps, is the true message of the Epic of Gilgamesh, that our actions, our contributions, and the memories we leave behind are our true immortality. The Epic of Gilgamesh is much more than an adventure story. It's a profound exploration of themes that continue to resonate with us today. The power of friendship, the quest for immortality, the confrontation with mortality, and the human desire to leave a lasting legacy. The friendship between Gilgamesh and Enkidu is central to the narrative, reflecting the power of human connection to shape our lives. Their bond changes Gilgamesh from an arrogant ruler to a compassionate leader, demonstrating how relationships can lead to personal growth and transformation. The theme of mortality is equally prominent. From Enkidu's death to Gilgamesh's quest for immortality, the epic confronts the inevitability of death. It grapples with the human fear of oblivion, our longing for eternal life, and ultimately our acceptance of our mortal condition. The Epic of Gilgamesh also explores the desire to leave a lasting legacy. For Gilgamesh, this comes not in the form of immortality, but through his deeds in the city he built. It's a powerful reminder that our actions, our contributions, and the memories we leave behind are our true legacy. The influence of the Epic of Gilgamesh extends far beyond its time. As one of the oldest known works of literature, it has shaped countless narratives and myths that followed. Its themes have found echoes in biblical stories, Greek mythology, and modern literature. It has inspired operas, novels, and films. Its exploration of friendship, mortality, and legacy continues to resonate with us. While Gilgamesh is often described as a mythical hero, he may have been a real person. Some historians believe that Gilgamesh was a historical king of the city of Uruk, who later became a figure of myth and legend. Records from other ancient civilizations mention a king named Gilgamesh, and archaeological evidence suggests that Uruk was an important city in ancient Mesopotamia. In the epic, Gilgamesh is described as being 2/3 god and 1/3 human. His mother was a goddess, and his father was a mortal king. This divine heritage gives Gilgamesh superhuman strength and physical beauty, but it also sets him apart from other people and leaves him unsatisfied with his mortal life. The Epic of Gilgamesh is essentially a journey of self-discovery. After the death of his friend Enkidu, Gilgamesh embarks on a quest to find the secret of immortality. He travels to the ends of the earth, battles supernatural creatures, and even ventures into the underworld. Although he fails to achieve physical immortality, he gains wisdom and understanding about life, death, and the importance of leaving a lasting legacy. One of the most famous parts of the Epic of Gilgamesh is the story of the Great Flood, which predates the biblical story of Noah's Ark by hundreds of years. In the epic, Gilgamesh meets Utnapishtim, a man who was granted immortality by the gods after he and his wife survived a great flood that wiped out the rest of humanity. This story has led some to speculate about possible connections between the two flood narratives. The Epic of Gilgamesh has had a lasting impact on literature and culture. Its themes of friendship, the quest for immortality, and the struggle with mortality are still relevant today. The epic has inspired countless other works of literature and has been translated into many languages. It continues to be studied and admired for its rich symbolism, complex characters, and exploration of universal human experiences. Early in the epic, Gilgamesh is portrayed as a tyrant. His strength and vigor lead him to oppress the people of Uruk. He sets young men to endless labor, competes with them in sports to the point of exhaustion, and disrupts families. This behavior sets the stage for the creation of Enkidu, initially a wild man, who is civilized and becomes a match for Gilgamesh, serving both as a friend and a balance to his excessive energy. Dreams and their interpretations play a crucial role in the Epic of Gilgamesh. For instance, before meeting Enkidu, Gilgamesh has prophetic dreams that are interpreted by his mother. Later, during their journey to the cedar forest to confront the demon Humbaba, both Gilgamesh and Enkidu experience ominous dreams. These dream sequences highlight the significance of divine intervention and fate in the characters' lives. The Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the earliest known examples of literature. It's written in a poetic form known as epic poetry and is composed of Sumerian verses. The influence of the Epic of Gilgamesh on subsequent literary traditions, especially the Homeric epics, the Iliad and the Odyssey, has been noted by many scholars. The theme of a hero's journey, friendship, and quest for immortality are motifs that continue in many forms of literary tradition. For centuries, the Epic of Gilgamesh was forgotten until archaeological excavations in the mid-19th century unearthed the ancient city of Nineveh, including the library of Assyrian king Ashurbanipal. Among the thousands of clay tablets, scholars found the Epic of Gilgamesh. It took decades to decipher, translate, and understand the epic, and it wasn't until the late 20th century that a relatively complete and accurate version of the story was available to the public. The rediscovery of this ancient epic has provided invaluable insights into ancient Mesopotamian culture and literature. And there you have it, the Epic of Gilgamesh, a tale of friendship, a quest for immortality, a confrontation with the inevitable reality of death, and the human desire to leave a lasting legacy. It's a story that has shaped our collective imagination for millennia, and its themes continue to resonate in our own lives. So, next time you ponder your legacy, your mortality, or the power of your relationships, remember the tale of Gilgamesh and his epic journey. It's a testament to the enduring power of stories and the timeless nature of the human condition. Greetings. Today we'll delve into the world of the ancient Egyptian pyramids, particularly those at Giza. These awe-inspiring structures have struck the imagination of humankind for millennia, and it's no surprise that they are deeply connected to the cosmos. The ancient Egyptians, you see, were skilled astronomers, and they incorporated their celestial knowledge into their religious beliefs and architectural designs. In the words of Carl Sagan, we are all made of star stuff. So, fasten your seatbelts as we embark on a cosmic journey through time, exploring the fascinating connections between the pyramids and the stars and the Sphinx. Welcome to Life's Biggest Questions. Now let's continue, shall we? While the Great Sphinx and the pyramids of Egypt are primarily associated with the ancient Egyptian civilization, there are a number of interesting connections and theories that have been proposed over the years, linking them to various other phenomena or cultures. Ley lines, also known as energy lines or dragon lines, are a concept proposed by some researchers who believe that various ancient sites around the world are connected by invisible pathways of energy. According to this theory, the lines form a global grid, and the points at which they intersect correspond to locations where ancient civilizations built their most significant structures, such as the pyramids, Stonehenge, and other megalithic sites. The idea of ley lines can be traced back to the early 20th century, when British amateur archaeologist Alfred Watkins observed that several ancient sites in England appeared to be aligned in straight lines. Watkins coined the term ley lines and suggested that these alignments were not coincidental, but rather evidence of an ancient system of lines that connected sacred sites. Proponents of ley lines argue that the presence of these alignments suggests an ancient knowledge of Earth energies, and that these lines were used to transmit, store, and harness energy. Some even suggest that the ancient sites built along ley lines could have been used for spiritual or healing purposes, as the energy at these intersections is thought to be stronger. In the context of the Great Sphinx and the pyramids, some ley line proponents argue that these structures are part of the global network of ancient sites connected by these hypothetical energy lines. They point to the alignment of the Giza Plateau with other significant archaeological sites, such as Angkor Wat in Cambodia, as evidence of these connections. However, it is important to note that the existence of ley lines remains a highly debated and controversial topic. Critics argue that the alignments are often coincidental, and that the idea of energy lines connecting ancient sites lacks scientific evidence. Many scholars in the fields of archaeology and history do not support the concept of ley lines and consider it pseudoscience. Astronomical alignments have played a significant role in ancient cultures, including the Egyptians, who were skilled astronomers. The Great Sphinx and the pyramids of Giza have been found to exhibit some astronomical alignments and relationships, which some researchers believe could have been intentional. The Sphinx and the spring equinox. The Great Sphinx is an immense limestone statue of a mythical creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human, believed to have been constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BCE. Some researchers suggest that the Sphinx is positioned to face the rising sun on the spring equinox. The spring equinox marks the beginning of the solar year in the ancient Egyptian calendar, and it was a time of rebirth and renewal. The Sphinx's alignment with the spring equinox could have been intended to symbolize the pharaoh's role as the guarantor of cosmic order and the renewal of the land. Orion correlation theory. The three pyramids of Giza, built during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, have been suggested to represent the three stars forming the belt of the Orion constellation. This theory, known as the Orion correlation theory, was proposed by researchers Robert Bauval and Adrian Gilbert in the 1990s. The Orion constellation held particular significance in ancient Egyptian mythology, as it was associated with the god Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and the souls of deceased pharaohs were believed to join Osiris in the constellation. According to the theory, the layout of the pyramids was intended to ensure the pharaoh's eternal connection with Osiris and their successful journey to the afterlife. Alignment with cardinal points. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built as the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, is remarkably well aligned with the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. The pyramid's north-south axis is aligned to within a fraction of a degree of true north, a remarkable feat considering the tools and knowledge available at the time. This alignment is thought to have been achieved by observing the circumpolar stars, which always remain visible above the horizon and move in a circular path around the celestial pole. The precise alignment of the Great Pyramid with the cardinal points could indicate the importance of astronomy in the religious and cultural practices of ancient Egypt. While these astronomical alignments and relationships have been observed in the Sphinx and the pyramids of Giza, it is important to note that the interpretation and significance of these alignments are still debated among researchers. Some scholars argue that the alignments could be coincidental, while others believe they were intentional and had symbolic or practical purposes. Nevertheless, these astronomical connections highlight the sophisticated understanding of celestial phenomena possessed by the ancient Egyptians and their integration of astronomy into their cultural and religious practices. The Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu, exhibits some remarkable mathematical and geometrical properties that have fascinated researchers for centuries. Some of these properties suggest a high level of knowledge and understanding of mathematics and geometry by the ancient Egyptians and might have connections to other ancient civilizations or mathematical systems. Here are a few examples of these properties. Pi and the Great Pyramid. The ratio of the pyramid's perimeter to its height is approximately 2p, 2 times the mathematical constant pi. While it is still debated whether this relationship was intentional or coincidental, it suggests that the builders of the pyramid might have had an understanding of the concept of pi, which is an essential constant in mathematics used to describe the relationship between a circle's circumference and its diameter. The Golden Ratio. The Great Pyramid's dimensions exhibit a relationship that is close to the Golden Ratio, a mathematical proportion often found in nature and art. The Golden Ratio, denoted by the Greek letter phi, is approximately 1.618. If you take the ratio of half the base length to the height of the pyramid, you get a value close to the Golden Ratio. The presence of the Golden Ratio in the pyramid's design suggests a potential awareness of this mathematical concept by the ancient Egyptians. The Pythagorean triangle. The Great Pyramid's cross-section reveals that it forms a Pythagorean triangle, which is a right-angled triangle with sides of length 3, 4, and 5, also known as a 3-4-5 triangle. The sides of this triangle are in the ratio of whole numbers, and the square of the longest side, the hypotenuse, is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. 3 squared plus 4 circumflex 2 equals sign 5 circumflex 2. This relationship is described by the Pythagorean theorem, named after the ancient Greek mathematician Pythagoras, who lived centuries after the construction of the Great Pyramid. It remains unclear whether the ancient Egyptians were aware of the Pythagorean theorem, but the presence of a 3-4-5 triangle in the pyramid's design is intriguing. Geographical connections. The Great Pyramid's location also has some fascinating geographical connections. It is situated at the approximate center of the Earth's landmass, which suggests that the builders may have had knowledge of the Earth's geography. Additionally, the pyramid's north-south axis aligns almost perfectly with true north, which indicates a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and navigation. While these mathematical and geometrical properties of the Great Pyramid are fascinating and may suggest connections to other ancient cultures or mathematical systems, it is essential to approach these findings with caution. Some of the relationships might be coincidental and others might be the result of observational biases. Furthermore, there is still considerable debate among scholars about the true extent of the ancient Egyptians' knowledge of mathematics and geometry, and whether the pyramid's design was intentionally based on these principles. The pyramids, particularly those at Giza, have long been thought to have connections with the stars and constellations due to the ancient Egyptians' advanced knowledge of astronomy. The stars played an important role in their religious beliefs, and they used their understanding of celestial movements to develop their calendar system. Here are some connections between the pyramids and the stars. The Orion correlation theory, proposed by researchers Robert Bauval and Adrian Gilbert in the 1990s, suggests that the layout of the 3 main pyramids of Giza represents the 3 stars that form the belt of the Orion constellation. The ancient Egyptians associated the Orion constellation with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, and the souls of deceased pharaohs were believed to join Osiris in the constellation. According to the theory, the alignment of the pyramids with the stars of Orion's belt was intentional, serving to connect the pharaohs with Osiris and ensure their successful journey to the afterlife. Stellar alignment of the pyramid shafts. The Great Pyramid of Giza has 4 narrow shafts that extend from the king's and queen's chambers towards the exterior of the pyramid. In the 1960s, Egyptologist Alexander Badawi and astronomer Virginia Trimble suggested that these shafts were aligned with specific stars or constellations that held significance in ancient Egyptian beliefs. For example, the southern shaft in the King's Chamber is thought to have pointed towards the star Al-Nitak in Orion's belt, while the northern shaft in the same chamber may have pointed towards Tuban, a star in the Draco constellation that was the North Pole star around 2500 BCE. The alignments of these shafts with specific stars could have been intended to help guide the pharaoh's soul to the afterlife. Some researchers have proposed that the pyramids could have been used as astronomical observatories to study the movement of stars and other celestial phenomena. The precise alignment of the Great Pyramid with the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west, suggests that the ancient Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and may have used the pyramid's platform for observing the stars. While these connections between the pyramids and the stars highlight the ancient Egyptians' impressive astronomical knowledge and its integration into their religious and cultural practices, it is important to note that some interpretations of these alignments are still debated among researchers. Some argue that the alignments could be coincidental or that the significance of these celestial connections has been overemphasized. Nevertheless, the astronomical connections underscore the importance of the stars in the lives and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians and their incorporation into the design of the monumental pyramids. As we conclude our cosmic voyage, it's remarkable to witness the intricate connections between the ancient Egyptian pyramids and the celestial wonders that fill our night sky. While some interpretations of these alignments are still debated among researchers, one thing is clear. The ancient Egyptians held a profound appreciation for the heavens above. Their understanding of astronomy and its integration into their religious beliefs, calendar systems, and architectural marvels underscore the timeless allure of the cosmos. This cosmic connection transcends time and cultures, reminding us that, in the words of Carl Sagan, we are all made of star stuff. I hope you enjoyed our video today. Drop a comment and any suggestions you might have for future videos down below.